What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video, Blackwing's Master Rule 2020 / Master Rule 5, you know what I mean. This is my current list, 40 cards, of course in the main deck. It's also running one of the new, at least the new hand trap, being Crescent, I believe the name is. It's very similar to Effect Failure and Impermanence, but I believe from the test tools I kinda prefer Effect Failure over this one. It's more versatile, but then again, yeah, the advantage that Crescent has during your, at least you're able to activate it during your own turn. But it has to be a special summoned monster during that turn and on that moment of the special summon. So that's a small downside of this card. So long story short, I probably prefer Effect Failure. Depends on the format. Anyway, I believe this is quite of a standard Blackwing deck list, but there's one fatal flaw here for the deck, and that's the extra deck. The extra deck is far too small. It needs to be put up to like 20 or 25 and then I feel comfortable, but that's sadly not the case. So as you'll be seeing, like with the playtesting and duels, there are so many cards that I tried out, and you know, like Formula Synchro will eventually hit the field as well. But as you saw, it's not on the list, so testing out multiple cards, and yeah, it just... Again, long story short, I mean, I want to main deck so many extra deck monsters that I pretty much don't have the space for that. But yeah, anyway, so the card choices eventually. Of course, Hyper Librarian is again very much viable because, you know, Blackwings is a Synchro heavy deck, or is somewhat heavy Synchro oriented, especially because of the level 7. The level 6 I do up to still run, I believe, what is it called? Nothing. That gives you the extra normal summon. You might want to drop that one. It's definitely an iffy card, but I still prefer it. It's somewhat of an extender, I guess. So drop Crescent to negate, yeah indeed, negate the Excite Knight, but again, in the long run, doesn't really matter too much. 4 Strix, again, giving me the extra search. What is it called? Pinaka, I believe the name is also a card that I eventually dropped from the main deck over a second Steam the Cloak. Because of Needle Fiber, going for Steam is just far better. It opens up, it's basically an extra extender, so that's why I prefer that one. Anyway, so Cyberdragon Infinity is a no-brainer, especially with Revolution Falcon as well, and of course your yeah, Raid Raptor Link. Although, and I again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think the Raid Raptor Link is confirmed yet. You know, the Wing Beast that special summons basically Sephiroth from the deck and searches a rank up spell. It's a Raid Raptor Link, if I'm not mistaken. My apologies if I am, but you know which one I mean, the Link 2. I don't think it's confirmed yet for the TCG, but is it a bigger deal? Well, a little bit, I guess. If you really don't want to playtest with that card, Needle Fiber is just as fine, right? And it opens up more space in the extra deck for, you know, the cards that I mentioned before. And as you probably already have seen here in the side deck, like Excite Knight, the Dweller, other Synchros, etc. So there it is, indeed, the Y-Strix, that was the name. So searching the rank up spell card, which in this case definitely helped out. Going for Unicorn to set up the 4th Strix in the graveyard. Going for Revolution Falcon. And I still have my regular normal summon, so I have a couple of options here. Could have gone for the Towers 2.0 Blackwing, but eventually opt to go for the negation, and here I was distracted, so that's why I didn't attack the C first, again with no hand. Obviously attacking C was better, but again the distraction kinda hurts, but in the long run it's fine, whatever. But yeah, one thing is that I eventually also added in Masquerina because, you know, like the small flaw of the Blackwings, at least of that, what is it called, Simoon, is, you know, you're forced to only being able to special summon Darks, if I'm not mistaken, and cards like Avramax is a light, so thanks to Masquerina, you could go for Unicorn during your opponent's turn, you could go for Avramax during your opponent's turn, and yeah, because of that, Boral Sword is not in the extra deck, but next to a couple of other cards, it's definitely one of those cards that you should put in your extra deck. So anyway, going first against Simoon, searching out the Black Whirlwind, and that's probably one of the reasons why I was trying out, what is it called, Into the Void, to basically, you know, play like a 36 card deck, but again, I'm not really a huge fan of that, just probably prefer the hand traps over it. And yeah, big weakness of Blackwings is there are somewhat of a heavy combo-oriented deck, and okay, Hyper Librarian might help out of extending your plays and drawing a couple of cards, a couple of, you know, like extenders like Gale or Bora or your Chris, I believe the name is. But again, that's the big issue of the deck. It's if your opponent has a well-timed hand trap, it might stop you in your tracks. Then again, your deck is running multiple extenders, so you can definitely bypass that one. Yeah, Whirlwind is a dead top deck, and yeah, whatever, right, just scoop it up. Anyway, so this is one of the reasons why I definitely prefer Double Steam, the cloak, right? I mean, the potential ability to banish it off of a lure and still being able to search it off of your needle fiber. So that's why I prefer Double Cloak. Get Librarian on the field because of the multiple special summons. One hand trap was already forced out being Impermanence. And going for Dawn Dragster for the potential negation as well. And I don't think I was running Masquerena. Alright, yeah, indeed, I was running Formula Synchron here in this duel. With, of course, giving me the 2 extra draws, hopefully drawing like hand traps or whatever. If not, I do have a couple of, at least one synchro play. Boral Savage is not an option since I don't have a link. That's a small downside, and that's why I prefer another level 8 in the extra deck that has some form of interruption, like maybe Omega or the Tenyi one, the Dragon Ogre, which, well, it worked out fine, I guess, since now it indeed banishes any monster. You know, it can banish monsters from the graveyard as well as soon as the effect activates, so that prevents the ABC Dragon Buster from coming out. And now with many cards I can just, you know, like pump out those monsters to attack for the game. So Zephyros is still quite OP. Get back Librarian, nothing for the extra normal summon so I can abuse Whirlwind. Black Whirlwind a little bit more. It's basically search out another extender like the level 1 tuner or the level 2 one that special, or Breeze, as you saw. Breeze is indeed in the main deck. I like it. It's very similar to Gale, but yeah, again, it's basically just another extender. And the deck is running triple Simoon and triple Allure to potentially get rid of your dead Blackwings in your hand. So Cyber Dragon Infinity again hits the field as well, and this is of course more than enough to attack for game. So the deck is very fun. It has so many options, but again, it's quite important that the Black Whirlwind, right? I mean, if you have Black Whirlwind, your opponent needs to have a couple of negations, hand traps, or whatever. One of the big weaknesses as well from this deck is of course Nibiru. There isn't really a way to pump out an early Boral. Well, probably, yeah, there is of course, but to first of all make it live and make it useful to pump out the Savage to negate Nibiru, I feel it's not really worth it, so that's one of the big weaknesses of the deck as well. So again, Ogre preventing or banishing Gold Gadget, I guess, and still having the, what's it called, the full Armor Master, the level 10 towers like Blackwing, and that's probably one of the reasons why I might prefer a second Yugioh, the level 7 Synchro that reborns like a level 6 or higher from the graveyard, since let's say if your opponent has like a Sphere mode or a Kaiju or whatever, then you know your full armored master is in the graveyard and you probably would have used like your first copy of Yugioh. So that's where a potential recovery play during your own turn might be like a reason that you maybe want to add in a second copy of Yugioh to, you know, like facilitating your comeback plays during your next turn, since a level 7 Synchro play is not really that hard for the deck. Anyway, so the Garrus for ABCs is quite cool. It's very similar purpose to Pujin Tsukuyomi, you know, like discard your entire hand, while Dugaris skips your next draw phase, I think, to draw 2 cards and discard 1. So basically the same reason, but the advantage is that you can keep your hand traps if you have those. So again, you see what's coming, right, with the 4-Strix Search, Y-Strix Search, Soul Shape Force, I believe the name is Shape Force indeed, and this should be game, right? Yeah, if it wasn't for the Call by the Grave, I definitely would have used Unicorn on the Union Hanger, the field spell, so I could definitely make the big push to attack for game. So Falcon hits the board, attacks every monster. ABC Dragon Buster was negated, but I don't think it mattered too much, since again Falcon can attack basically every monster, and with Union Hanger gone, if I used Unicorn, there would not have been an equip from the deck. Anyway, so Blackwings, the new hand trap Crescent, I believe the name is okay, but yeah, let's say it's your own turn and Orcus is playing during your own turn, then that's where the trap definitely shines, like very specific matchups, but I think as a whole, you might be just better off with Effect Failure, which, you know, like Crescent might be a new secret rare. It might be a bit expensive. So yeah, anyway, 40 cards in the main deck. Again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions, like from Blizzard to Pinaka, Formula Synchron, all those cards I definitely want to fit in the main deck, but there is just no space, no room, right? But again, feel free to leave feedback. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.